Stock market today analysis for Monday, January 23rd, 2023. Now, I want to let everybody know that around 8 a.m. today, I went to work. I got home around 7:30 p.m., 7:15, somewhere in there. So it has been a long day, and when I got home, I started making this video, and then after about 50 minutes, I accidentally deleted it. That's the second time it's happened to your good buddy Brent in the last like 8 days. So I'm going to cut a lot of this short. One thing I want to remind you is you can go to the description below this video. It has a link to ihavesuccess.com. The mission of ihavesuccess.com, pardon the Freudian slip, is to help you begin your trading journey by learning how to sell cash secured put options in a way that allows myself, that's me, to grow and improve in the process. Why do I want to grow and improve in the process? Because if you want to master something, teach it, says this yogi. Cash secured put options, what is fantastic about those is that at contract expiration date, one of two things happen, and they're both fantastic things. Now right here we got a box. This is your financial statement. This is your income category. This is your expense category. This is your asset column. And this is your liabilities. Now, at contract expiration date, one of two things happens when you're selling cash secured put options on stocks that you don't mind owning. One thing that could happen is that the contract expires worthless and you keep the premium. The other thing that could happen is the contract does not expire worthless. However, you still keep the premium, and you also buy assets. Now there's a way that people would say, well, what if that stock that you bought goes to zero? And I'd say you got to learn how to do some fundamental analysis. So also in the description of this video below, there is a playlist called Trading Options for Beginners. The fifth video in that playlist, the fifth and final video in that playlist, will show you how to use the Yahoo Finance Screener tool for free to help select stocks that have less of a chance of going bankrupt, or going out of business while you're alive. And then you should get these two things: cash secured put stock selection guide. 3 stocks I sell cash secured put options on, not because they're stock recommendations, just use these two as a guideline in combination with that fifth video that shows you how to use this. And the other videos will basically teach you how to set up some stock charts and all types of things like that, so you can start paper trading it and learn how to do it. Because the stock market has been around before you were born. The stock market will be around after you die. There's no rush. There is not a rush to try to make money. There is a rush to learn. You want to start speeding up your learning process. The faster you make mistakes, the faster you learn. So get a simulated trading account so you can make those mistakes. Now, getting back to selling cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning. Only one of two things can happen. One, you make money. That means this premium goes into your income column, right? And then you write another cash secured put option on a stock you don't mind owning. If that expires worthless, more money into your income column, right? You can just, if you never get assigned, you'll continually make money. You're not going to get rich quick, but you will potentially get rich over time. It is a tortoise strategy. The second thing that could happen is the stock option does not expire worthless, and you still get income coming into your income category because you're still keeping this premium right here. But then also what happens is now you have more assets in your asset column. When you watch that 5th video and you watch those playlists and you download those things, download the stuff over here at I Have Success, you're going to learn that there's a good chance these assets that you're going to be purchasing will pay dividends. And so what happens is that now you have more assets in your asset column, and your assets are going to be putting more income into your income column. And guess what you're still doing? You're still writing more cash secured put options. So you got more money flowing in, potentially have more assets coming in, more money flowing in, sooner or later more assets flowing in. You're buying dividends, you got more money flowing in, right? Now there's something called the wheel strategy, where in this scenario, I haven't talked about selling covered call options. Well, you could be selling covered call options, right? So now you got this asset, you got dividends coming in. We'll put a little D here. And then covered call. You could have more income flowing in from the covered call. However, with the covered call, you might get assigned, just like you got assigned here, right? Expired worthless, got assigned. If it expires worthless, your assets stay in the asset column and you continue to add more income into your income column. If the contract gets assigned, then your asset gets removed, and theoretically you're going to make a capital gain, which brings more money into your income column, and you just keep doing this whole thing over and over and over and over and over. And you can guess I could keep saying over and over and over until the day you expire, just like an option contract, because trust me, you have an expiration date. So do I. So I suggest you learn how to do that. You can learn other strategies too, but you definitely should learn how to do. There's no reasons why not. In fact, if you have a bank account, if you have an internet connection, for speed of time, let's just abbreviate this, internet connection. And if you spend money at least once a year, in the year of our Lord 2023, you ain't got no excuses, right? That E word, that EX word, you got none. Now that's not true. You might have some, but that's what they are. They're excuses. They're either excuses, rationalizations, or justifications, or denials. And if you have kids, look your kids in the face and say, your dad is too stubborn, or your mom is too stubborn. I'm too stubborn. I'm not going to learn. I'm not going to learn how to make more money for you. I don't love you enough to make more money. Go ahead and say that to your children if you're unwilling to improve your financial life. I don't think you're going to say that to your kids if you're watching this. But 8 minutes in, 8 minutes and 22 seconds, hey, you don't want to learn how to do things new? Everybody that counts on you, look them in the face and say, hey, you know what? I don't love you enough to get out of my comfort zone and learn. If you want to be that type of weak-minded individual, be my guest. You want to have a little strength of character? Then join the club over on the side. With all that lecturing done, 8 minutes of lecturing. Hopefully you got the idea. You see how selling those cash secured put options puts you in a position that you're constantly making money, even loading up your asset column. La da da da. We're gonna cut this one really short. We're basically gonna focus on the S&P 500, SPY, just this line chart. We see this line chart. I look at it sometimes. Maybe you look at it with me sometimes. And what do we see going on here? Well, let's right now we're all the way zoomed out, right? So we're going back. How many years are we going? 10 years. We see down here hit the low, 151.24. We see here was the high, a little bit under 475. That was around December or January, December of 2021 or January of, looks like it was maybe December of 2021. 2022 stock market basically went down. Now we're in 2023. Now 2023 to me so far looks like this. Seems to be in this range, right in there. It's been looking like this for longer than just today. I can't remember exactly when I first started noticing that it seemed to be going sideways, but it's been a minute, right? Well, over a minute. It's been probably over a month. So now we're zoomed in a little more, and look to the left. Here's our price today, right? Well, look to the right. We see we're a tad bit over 400. Look to the left. We see right a little bit under here, right under 400. Prices pivoted right here, and then they pivoted again right here, right? A little bit over 400, they pivoted. Look at this. A little bit under 400, they pivoted. They pivoted here. They went as far as down here. Where is that? 380. All right, so if we're going this way, pivot here, right under that 400. Pivot here, right over that 480. A little pivot there. Up here, over that 400. I don't know exactly where it is, but it's less than 420, right? That's our next spot. And then look at pivoted right here, right around that 400. Pivoted down here, a little bit below that 380, kind of in the middle there, right? We see it a little bit under here, and I'm not gonna whip out the straight line, but I'll just trust me that it's about 357 and some change. That's the number that I remember. And you know, up here is a number that I remember because it's 420. Now, I'm more of a 357 guy than a 420 guy, but right in the middle of 400 and 420 is 410. So I'm kind of a 410 and a 357, 556, 9. Those are all kind of the numbers that I'm into. But you can be into whatever numbers you want, and just because I'm into some numbers doesn't mean anything with the stock market. I just find it happens to be funny that this is at 357 and 410 is right somewhere in that area. Anyways, I got sidetracked here on some of my favorite numbers. And so, right, again, here, it's a little bit above, a little bit below that 400. Look at over here, a little bit above that 380, right? A little bit above, it starts doing that. Look at all the way over here. Look at how it gets around that 380 and it's doing that. We don't really see much around the 400 here, but when we get up here, what is that? 420, interesting, right? So where was this around? It was around the 380. Let's look at that 360. You know, kind of see it in here. And kind of see something right in here, lower than 357. So what's my point with all this? My point is it really seems like we're in a bit of a range. I don't know exactly. Like, it doesn't have to be an exact range. That's the other thing, is don't necessarily think it needs to be this exact range. You know, just because right here it touched down exactly at 420, and just because it did that here, and just because right here it hit pretty much exactly 380, that was a little bit above 380, right? But it seems like we're kind of in this range, somewhere in there. My line's not too straight over here, but it definitely seems like we're in a bit of this range-ish type of area. So what are some things that this would imply if we stay in this range for a while? Well, one thing that it applies right here, we see it, like, I get it, it's a little bit above 360, and over here it went a little bit above 420, but look at how it pivoted close to it, and look at how it pivoted close to it here. If we stay in this kind of trading range like this, then the people that need this, they're feces out of luck. They are out of luck if they need this. If you need to make money by this right there, how are you going to do that if you're in a range? So that's one of the first things, is that there's certain people, they don't know how to make any money when it's range bound. That's not you though, is it? You might not even realize it, but I'm helping you learn how to sell cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning. You can make money in a sideways market doing that. Yes, you can. When you're doing that, could you make money in a downward market? Yes, you can. Right? You can hit all directions when you're selling options. even if you're selling options, even if you're selling cash secured put options on stocks that you don't mind owning. So that's what it seems like is going on right at the moment. Now, in order to, well, let's do this first. So I hope you know there's only 3 directions a stock market can go. Here's the 3 directions: up, down, and sideways. That's it. It can kind of be in a combination. What if it's right in here? Well, then that's up. What if it goes like this? Then that's sideways, right? What if it goes like that? What if it's like this? It's down, right? It's only 3 directions it can go. And luckily for you and I, there's a strategy to make money out of any direction. So what do you need to know in order to make money out of any direction? One thing you need to know, well, there's 2 basic things. There's more than 2 subcategories under these 2 big categories, but there's 2 basic things. One, you gotta be able to have a slightly accurate idea of direction. If you're going to be a net option seller, you can have a slightly accurate idea of direction. When you're a net option seller, you can actually be somewhat wrong in direction and still make money. It just depends how wrong you are. Now, what is easier to do? To accurately pick direction, or to not be super wrong, right? Because not being super wrong means you can be wrong. Is it easier to be wrong, or is it easier to be 100% right, or close to 100%? I hope you get what I'm trying to explain here. I apologize. A lot of times I'm sleeping by 9, 10 o'clock, so my brain is not working the same way. But I'm really trying to get this message across that if you're a net option seller, you can make money, and the stock didn't move the way you thought it would, right? So that's pretty powerful. So you got to have somewhat of an idea of which way the market's going to go, and you got to have an idea of some strategies. You got to have some strategies. 2 things. 1, 2. So selling cash secured put options on stocks that you don't mind owning, that's pretty forgiving too. That makes it even harder to lose money. It's not going to be impossible, trust me. If you really want to lose money, you'll be able to figure out a way to do it. So we're trying to mitigate losses, mitigate risks, this type of thing. Selling cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning, it's going to be this tortoise type of strategy. And one benefit that you get for trading off higher gains is you get less risk. Not zero, just less. So that's it, my friends. Now certain people, if you have a 401k, this is it. You need the stock market to do that. If you say, well, no, I just don't feel comfortable, making money when the stock market goes down. I'm just not that kind of person. Okay. Good luck. So that means 1/3. 1/3 of direction movement. Now me and some of my buddies, we're getting the whole enchilada. 3/3. Up, down, sideways. When the stock market's going up, can you make money selling cash secured put options on stocks you don't mind owning? Absolutely you can. Let's say, forget about what this is, SPY. Forget about the price of it. Pretend this is your favorite company in your price range. Your favorite company. YFC. It is the mirror image of FTX, right? YFC, FTX. Okay, this is the opposite of a fraud. This is the opposite of a convincing liar getting on stage with ex-presidents to fool you even more. It's the opposite of that. It's your favorite company. So your favorite company, let's say your favorite company is going up. You see, okay, it's going up, right? It's going up, but there's always these little pullbacks. So you see it going up, pulls back down here. Hey, look at you sell option right here. It goes up. Ooh, that option loses value. You could close it out, or maybe you're just going to let it go to expiration. Drops back down here. Oh no. Oh no. What's going to happen if it drops down below my strike price? I showed you. You're gonna fill up your asset column with assets and you're gonna make money. But it doesn't. It doesn't drop below your strike price. It goes up. You just collect in premium. In a bull market, you can sell, closer to the price action, get a richer premium, and potentially still not buy the stock, still be cash flowing. Now, what about when it's going down? Yeah, when it's going down, what something that you could do is, let's say you want to buy the stock, but you want to be back in this price. You want to be back here. You want to buy the stock around here. So you would have to do one of two things, maybe both things, maybe some volatility. Is there any premium down here when the stock's way up here? Maybe when it drops down here, maybe, I mean, this is pretty far away, but maybe it's dropping, so the price is moving closer here, and volatility is increasing. Maybe you could get some money. Maybe you got to sell further out in time. By doing some of that stuff, you might be able to still buy at the price that you want, right? Or you might still be able to open up the option contract, the put option, at a strike price that you want, and potentially get paid some money. Now, in a time like this, maybe you don't get paid as much premium, but you're protecting your risk by you're still selling. What's your commitment? This commitment is the strike price, so you're still happy with the strike price. Now, as it moves in a sideways market, you might get a little, maybe you just want to keep selling here, or maybe you get a little riskier. Maybe you come up a little bit. It is taking more risk because now you're $20 or whatever, $5, whatever you need this to be in your numbers, right? You're closer to that. You get a little more premium though, and so far, it's been like, it's up here, right? It's got to get through this line of resistance first. Right? It's got to get through that first, and it's got to get through that next, right in that area. So what do I think the stock market's going to do? I think right now it's going sideways. So here's some potential price points to be looking at. Right around in there, you see how when I line that up, it's kind of at that peak. That's around like up here a little bit is 415. So let's kind of go in the middle, say 410. And that's not just because I like, okay, it is a little bit to do with that. I get it. It's not the most powerful thing, but still, it's a nice number, 410. So let's see it get past. Let's see it get past this 400. Stay above this 400. Let's see it get past this 405, 410 type of area. Then of course it's got to do the 420. Now in the meantime, are you sitting there doing nothing? I don't know. Right? I'm not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. We're just kind of trying to guesstimate which way the stock market might do. Like if we're really going to see an uptrend, it's got to get past this. It's got to get past this, right? It's definitely got to get past 420. And at some point, it's got to get past this high right here of at that time, that pivot of 426.71-ish. And so if it doesn't do that, if it gets up to about, I don't know, somewhere between 405 to 410, something like that, and it gets up there and it starts coming back down again, how far is it going to come down, right? Is it going to come down, and is it just going to come down to like right here? Because it pivoted right there, right? Right there, it had a pivot. Is it just going to come down to right there? If it does, if it comes down to like this, it goes up and it kind of comes down to this area. Oh, then it looks like maybe is our range tightening? Is that what's happening? All right, so there's these different levels. Right? And as you go further away in either direction, you can look to the left and see where price is getting kind of clumpy before. Look at this. You see it right in here. So at 340, right? So if it drops lower than this 357, and it starts breaking through this area right in here where we see prices getting clumped up. We even see them here. Look at that, right in here. Test this right here, came down, boom, 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 before it went up. Right? Will it go down that low? It could. but if we ask, will it go down that low? It's not could it go down that low, right? Will it go down that low? I don't know. Could it? Yeah. But before it goes down to this low, it's got to get past this. It's got to get past this. So you got to be able to make your own financial decisions for yourself. This is the type of stuff that has been helping me to sell options pretty darn lucratively. I'm not saying that I haven't lost money. I definitely have lost money, especially selling options on WTI crude oil futures. Lost a lot of money in a short amount of time before. And that is why I still, like my tried and true, I'm always going to go back to selling cash secured put options on stocks that I don't mind owning. You know why? Because I just love the fact that no matter what happens upon expiration date, once you, if maybe it won't take losing money to realize this, but you know, I live in Hawaiian Standard Time. And like I said, I got to work around 8 o'clock today, 8 a.m. I didn't get home till about 7:15, 7:30, somewhere in there. That basically means like I looked a little bit at the market at close, but I was not in a position to open up my account and make any adjustments. So a lot of times I'm setting up trades that I don't want to have to adjust them, because if I adjust them, I'm not adjusting them during market hours, and if I adjust them, it's going to be like, you know, after market hours, and there's a big difference. If you don't realize that difference, try it out. Try setting up all your trades the night before and not looking at anything until the next day. See what happens over a 6-month period. Try it 12 months, see what happens. You know, it's easy to do things for 3 weeks. It's even easy to do things for a couple months. 6 months, a year, 2 years, and you're starting to really get an idea of what's going on. And in my opinion, this is the way you want to play the game. You don't, if you're just going to do this for a couple months, I mean, hope you have fun with it, but you're not going to get the same results as that if you do it for 15 years. If I were in your situation, which I'm not, I have no clue what your situation is, but I'll tell you what, I'm in my situation, and from my situation, I'm telling you what I've learned is you want to do this for a longer game. Now, whether you're going to do it or not, whether it totally works for you, I mean, I think if you have an internet connection, a bank account, and you spend money at least once a year, you should be doing this. So that's my standpoint, right? And yep, I think we're in this sort of range, and it can draw it kind of sloppy because it is kind of like that. It's somewhere, you know, somewhere like that. And then of course there's a little more kind of up here. You see it? I hope you can see my cursor. You see these price action right around in there, right? And then you see this where it dropped down here. It's like where prices started getting kind of clumpy right in there before, touched right down there, right? That's what you want to do. You want to kind of look at that. It doesn't necessarily have to be a line chart. You can use candles, but I was just using the line chart just to try to break up the monotony, and I can tell I'm tired by repeating myself. That you know, looking at these levels. So if you're not already learning how to sell cash secured put options on stocks that you don't mind owning, just give it a shot. Don't look your babies in the face and say I'm too much of a loser to learn something new. Don't directly or indirectly tell people that count on you that you're a loser, so you're not willing to learn new things. Be a winner, right? Be successful. You guys have a fantastic night. Aloha.